Welcome back to another episode of Sir Gonzo. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And in today's episode, we'll be talking about my thoughts, my opinions, and maybe your opinions as well on the Sony PlayStation 1 Mini or Classic. Alright, let's get on. Sit back and relax and enjoy the show. I'm going to go ahead and start off by saying that if you don't already know, Sony has announced their Sony PlayStation 1 Classic. You can also call it a Mini because it obviously is much smaller than the original or even the Mini itself. I'm going to go ahead and be completely honest with you guys. I don't think this is going to be for me. To be completely honest, I'd rather have the console itself. You can get the console for like under $800. Yes, you're going to have to worry about a CD reading errors or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure you can find a decent console with a bunch of games for under $100 on eBay. It really depends on the games that they're going to include in this console. It's going to come with like 20 games, I guess. The buttons are, of course, operational. You're going to need a power button, a reset button, and I guess a disc open tray button. That's going to go ahead and change the virtual disc inside of the game, the console itself. Some of the games for the console look pretty interesting. You got Racer 4, I believe, Tag 3 maybe, or Tekken 3. It looks like it will also have Final Fantasy 7. I guess the true benefit of this console is that they built in a HDMI port for the console, so you can see these games in HD. You won't be able to see them in full HD, but you'll have the chance to play them, I guess, scaled up. Part of the reason why I am not a huge fan of this console is that, you know, the PS1 had great games, sure. Final Fantasy 7, you got Crash Bandicoot, and in fact, I think this should have Resident Evil 1, 2, and possibly 3 on the console itself. And it shall also have Gran Turismo. Sony first party games definitely should be on this console, but there's only 20 games. I mean, I feel like they could put a lot more in there. I feel like they're using Raspberry Pi 3 probably for the console itself. It looks like they're using some sort of custom port for the controllers. I wish they used USB ports so that you can go ahead and use the PS1 controller on your PC if you wanted to. If I really wanted a PS1, I would have one by now. And in fact, I can get a PS1 on eBay for like $88 with a bunch of games. And then I'm pretty sure the list of games that you can get with any PS1 are pretty decent. But $100 for a Mini, not my cup of tea. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait on this one. I'm probably gonna wait for it to come out like later on next year again. Hopefully Sony comes out with enough supply for the demand, at least. They don't pull a Nintendo. If they do pull a Nintendo, that's because they want to have those numbers. I feel like there's going to be a artificial hype train that's driven by nostalgia. I mean, let's go ahead and be honest. I mean, a Mini is nice. It's adorable, I guess. But, again, if you really wanted a PS1, you would have had a PS1 by now. Seriously, there's a Mini edition PS1 out there. It's the newest edition from Sony that came out in the early 2000s. I'm pretty sure you can find one for a fair price. I know it's not about the graphics, but you know, this is the early age of 3D. A lot of the first-person shooters on this console had a combination of sprites or vectors and also polygons. It did have better 3D graphics capabilities in the Sega Saturn, but I preferred Saturn, and I actually had a Saturn before I even had a PS1. They definitely need to add R-Type to the collection. R-Type's a good, amazing shooter. You guys would have a lot of fun with that, I feel like, anyways. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and pause right here and say if you like this content, if you look forward to more discussions like this is a video format, and if you guys like to add your opinions, go ahead and feel free to add your opinions. Don't be afraid to, anyways. And we'll have a real discussion. So consider subscribing and click that subscribe button, click that bell icon to get the most recent update of the most recent video that I released in the future. Now sit back and relax and enjoy the rest of the show. Alright guys, so my next statement here is regarding Super Metal Days theory, I guess you want to say theory, and about how this was announced to combat the, say, Nintendo Switch's online services and its 20 games. I don't think that's the case here. And in fact, if Sony wanted to come out with, say, like 27 games, 30 games, 40 games, they could have. Honestly, I think they're using probably a modified Raspberry Pi 3, but in all honesty, I don't think they're directly combating with, say, Nintendo's online services. They're two different things. There is a piece of hardware that has a decent amount of games for it, and it's a piece of software that is also a service. So yeah, Super Mellow Dave, you're a nice guy, you have great content, but your theory on this anyways, I don't buy it. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's actually going on. I think people see that, or competitors like Sony see that, hey, my competition here, Nintendo, did a great job with their minis and classics, so let's go ahead and try it ourselves. But I don't think they're competing against each other. First off, if you were to compete against each other, you would have to come out around the same time that the service comes out, or the product comes out, not like a month or actually 2.5 months away from now. And it's perfectly okay to disagree about someone's opinion. Obviously, he has his opinion, and he's entitled to his opinion. I have nothing against that. You guys can go ahead and put your opinions down, and we'll have a discussion. I just happen to believe that it's not competing against, Nintendo's online service. Nintendo's online service, haven't tried it yet, but I've heard a lot of mixed feelings about it, especially the fact that you have to use like a phone app to even chat with friends, which is ridiculous, and I wish you didn't have to do that in the first place. But I don't think it's competing. I really don't think it's competing. Here are some reasons why I don't think it's competing. Number one, there are two different types of products in some ways. Like, this is online service that offers these, say, games. 20 games, yes, the magic number here is 20 games for both services, or for both products. Yeah, and those are my opinions. I don't think it's directly competing with each other. I really don't think it's just like you're competing against the service and the product. I feel like it's more of a competition if you were to compete against like the NES or SNES classics versus like the PS1 classic. That's more of a competition versus like the online service. The only way you can really compete is if you were to compete against each other's online service. And let's be completely honest, Sony has had a lot of time to develop their service. When they first started out, it wasn't that great as well. I mean, I feel like Xbox has done online a lot better, and I honestly feel like you shouldn't have to pay to play games online. Those are my opinions, anyways. But so, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this PS1 or PSX Mini or Classic? So let me know in the comments below, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and just let me know what you guys think. We'll have a real discussion, and hope you guys have a good rest of the day. Alright, bye bye.